Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the February 19th, 2013 Fellowship of the Geeks live broadcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and of course, joining me in the Google Hangout is Mike Marlowe.
I would be the doofus cracking him up right before he goes live. Sorry.
No, you're not.
Not really, no.
I didn't see. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Not a bit of truth to that at all.
You may notice that we are shorthanded two people tonight. Les Webster is under the weather. I talked to him earlier this evening. He's doing better, and hopefully he will be joining us for our next show. So,
Cyclops will be back.
yes, Cyclops will be back. We missed you there, Les. And we are also missing James Pickering from the website galaxycalleddallas.com. He may be joining us later. We don't know. We hope so. But if not, then James, hey James, hope everything's all right, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Was there anything you want? Anything you kind of want to talk about before we got into the main subject matter tonight, there, Mikey? We're just going to throw it out here tonight.
We're just going to wing it. We're on a wing it prayer. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I will throw out the kind of the chuckle I got this afternoon.
Sure.
I don't know how closely our friends and folks pay attention to Twitter, but for those who had heard that the Burger King Twitter account got hacked yesterday, apparently somebody either they struck again or somebody mimicked them and did the same thing to the Jeep Twitter account today.
To whose Twitter account?
Jeep.
Nice.
Yeah. And they hacked them and stuck a bunch of Cadillac stuff up there on their Twitter.
I had not heard what happened to Burger King.
Oh yeah, Burger King. Somebody got in there and stuck a bunch of McDonald's references up on their background and started tweeting. I mean, it went on for nearly an hour.
Nice.
They actually caught the Jeep one after like 10 or 12 minutes and shut it down. But yeah.
Well, I had a scare. So you talking about Twitter and all that. Because you got to watch out for these things. You know, some people, get hacked, and all of a sudden messages start sending out and say, "Hey, someone's talking about you," and then there's this link. I've heard enough of that kind of stuff where when I see that, I delete the message. I obviously don't click on the link.
Just delete the message.
I guess this was Sunday night. I happened to jump over to Twitter and take a look at what's going on. And I hope I don't get hell for talking about this, but since it was out in public, it's kind of hard to.
Not exactly a pact of secrecy going when you're posting something on Twitter.
I saw a tweet from writer Mark Waid, who's the current writer of Indestructible Hulk and did Irredeemable and Incorruptible and some of these other books. Mm-hmm. And he posted basically a message and had Scott Snyder's Twitter handle, and Scott Snyder is the current writer of Batman and a few other books. The vertical title Wake is going to be coming out in May. Can you see this link or something like that? Can you see this? And there was a link there, and like an idiot, I clicked on it, and there was nothing there, and I just, it was like a blank screen, and then there was just, it was thinking, and I was like, oh crap. Mm. And come to find out, no. About 2 minutes later, Mark Waid posted, said, "No, I was not hacked. My website crashed." I was like, I mean, I don't mean to laugh at his pain and all that, because he was trying to send out a post on his website about a project which I should have retweeted and all that, but I mean, I panicked because of that, but plus the fact that 24 hours earlier, I had been on, maybe not even, or so, I had been on CNET to try to download a free software to try to do some stuff. And then this was Saturday night. Sunday morning, I noticed that all of a sudden there's additional ads on Facebook and there's ads on my Twitter page and all this. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And I started looking at what it was. It had downloaded the malware on my computer.
Yeah.
So the thing was, is I started the download of that file and I stopped it. So it never really installed. So I deleted all that stuff out, and of course I had to I had to remove that and all that, and so there's no problem. The worst thing that happened was later on I tried to start up my computer and it wouldn't start up, so I had to go back and try to get in through safe mode and restore to a similar or earlier point. But I'm obviously I'm up and going again.
Right.
But I was already paranoid because of all that happened. So when the whole thing with Mark Wade's tweet happened, I'm like, it was like a hell of a 24-hour period.
The bad words were flying that morning.
So, but as far as I know, his site's up and going again, and I'm obviously up and going. So it was scary.
Yeah.
But that is funny that Burger King's Twitter account got hacked and then they started posting McDonald's stuff. Gotta make sure about those passwords, kids.
Watch the passwords.
Watch the passwords. Don't make them too easy or where someone can figure them out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So.
That was a Spaceballs reference, by the way.
Okay. It's been so long since I've seen that. I totally missed it. I'm sorry.
That's the kind of password an idiot would have on his luggage.
That's the same password I use on my luggage.
My luggage. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now.
Good old Dick Van Patten.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What we want to kind of discuss, probably not the entire show, but kind of go over it a little bit. Last week, DC had released their solicitations for May books. And one of the titles that was posted, it was for in the Beyond the 52 selection, is a print collection of digital comics, and the title is called Adventures of Superman. One of the stories is written by Orson Scott Card. Now, if you've been on any of the comic book websites for the last week, you know where we're going. For some strange reason, I did not post this as a news item. I don't know why. I just don't.
I actually only kind of barely heard about it. I mean, I guess maybe I had a gap because I'm not on Twitter all day long.
Well, I'm not either.
I think I logged in like 4 or 5 hours after the news broke, and so I sort of heard something about Card and Superman and didn't really think anything about it.
Well, there is an uproar because Orson Scott Card is on record of being anti. I assume he's anti-gay because he's definitely against anti-gay marriage.
Yeah, he's like on the board of a major activist group that is actively fighting against gay marriage.
Yes, it's called NOM, but I don't remember exactly. I don't remember what it stands for. It's something marriage. Anyway, that is what I heard, and to that at that point at the beginning, and I was
National Organization for Marriage.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, and of course, a lot of people are upset about that, and I understand that, but and I was thinking at that point, okay, he has these views, you know, I don't necessarily agree with them. Obviously, these people that are upset or don't agree with them, you know, how is this really going to affect him writing a Superman story? Um, and then I heard later on that apparently he has made comments about uh, your kids should be homeschooled. That way, they avoid being indoctrinated by gay propaganda or something along those lines.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do remember seeing the phrase "gay propaganda."
and I was like, where in the world did that come from?
Nice save, by the way.
I wasn't sure which way to go, but I just, in the world, you know.
We try to keep this at least PG-13 for you, girls.
Yes. And I, okay. And, you know, it's not like I was going to come on and defend him and all that. I mean, to a point, everybody has an opinion. You know, if you want to be an idiot and you want to think these ways, that's fine. But some of this stuff is just, some of the stuff that supposedly he's attributed to, which I have not seen any documentation to where he says that. So, but I'm not gonna say that he didn't say it.
Yeah, we're not here to fact check.
We're not fact.org. Okay, that's another website. But please stay here, talk
Yeah,
and
stay
listen
on
to
us.
us.
That's good.
Um, so you know, there's online petitions to DC to have him removed, and it's just a 6-page story. You know, they want DC to remove him off the story. Of course, DC's come out with a statement saying, you know, we hire people who may not always agree, have the same viewpoints as we do, or something along those lines.
Yeah, the
I know.
petition. I saw that petition you're talking about. I saw something that said they had 11,000 signatures
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at
to
all.
present, and they were going to present it to DC to try to persuade them to remove him from the story.
And you know what? They have caved in on certain things before, and they may do this too. Um, because I mean they've had recent history of fans reacting and saying no, we don't like what you just did, and they've come back and backtrack, not naming any names or anything, but I think
Yeah, Simone.
um, um, and I just saw within the last couple of days that David Jared,
I saw that.
you saw that?
David Gerald thing, yeah.
Gerald, yeah, I'm sorry, I screwed up his name. It's like, well, you know what, DC, you can go ahead and hire me. I can write a Superman story. And of course, for those who don't know, I know him from the Star Trek episodes, The Trouble with Tribbles, and he did a couple of other classic Trek stories. He's a science fiction writer. He's really good. He's also gay, which I did not know until this came out. Not that it doesn't affect my viewpoint one way or the other, because quite honestly, I don't see how it affects the story, and that's what and that's kind of what my viewpoint was with this whole thing here. You know, unless he comes out and writes a story where Superman just turns and looks right at the reader and says gay marriage is wrong or something like that. I, I don't know. You know, I just and the thing is that been bringing up was, where was the outrage when he wrote a couple issues for Ultimate Iron Man. Now, granted, that's 7 years ago, but and of course the whole thing with the whole gay marriage movement has been more of a last
Last couple of years thing.
3-4 years at max, 4 years. So there is a time issue there, but still, he had these viewpoints then. Marvel adapted his book Ender's Game, Which here's something here. An Ender's Game movie is going to be coming out.
Yep.
I think later. Is it later this year?
I believe so. I'm not totally. Actually, no. Yes. November.
Okay. November. Okay. What does Marvel do? Because any other time, they would have reprinted those books as collections. I'm sure they've been collected as trades before. I'm sure they're going to try to do it again to kind of cash in on the movie, which I don't blame them for that. What do they do now? Now that all this has happened, are they going to risk doing that, or what's your feelings on this, Mikey?
Okay.
Let's just sit back and get some popcorn.
That ain't how I usually roll, but
Right.
I do have an opinion. Let's be realistic here. We're talking about a 6-page Superman story. We're talking about. I mean, I'm going to briefly assume that our audience does not know who Orson Scott Card is, though I sincerely doubt that is the case. The man has written 7 or 8 novels. 2 of them have won multiple awards in the science fiction genre. Ender's Game and Speaker for the Dead both won the Nebula and Hugo Awards. These are basically the big 2 awards for science fiction, for SF. I have read Ender's Game. I've also read a couple of his other books. The man can write, plain and simple. I don't care what he believes. He's a really good writer. I don't think we're going to run into any significant problems with a 6-page Superman story. I mean, all he has to do is write a few hundred words for this. I honestly don't see what the big deal is. It's a thing where, yes, his beliefs, and I will actually use the word that I saw in one of the articles online, his beliefs are somewhat archaic in terms of gay marriage. From what I saw in the arguments against this, I mean, people are concerned about what he's going to do with the Superman character, and I don't know. I just don't see that he can do a whole lot in a 6-page story.
Well, there's not much he can do in a 6-page story, and plus the fact that Warner Brothers and DC are not going to let him do anything bad to the character.
It's not like they don't have an editorial process at DC. Come on, people. Let's think about this. I mean, sure, this is a separate one-shot thing, so they might be a little loose with it, but damn, this is still DC we're talking about here. This is one of the big 2. They're not going to let anything weird slide through, especially in a Superman story. Superman is their bread and butter. Or he's at least a chunk of their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Batman commands a good bit of it too, but this is Superman. They're not going to let him mess with Superman.
You don't tug on Superman's cape.
Exactly. Yes, our brains went there at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, that would be, for those who don't know, that would be a reference to a song that came out in the early 70s, 40 years ago.
That's how old I am.
Yeah, I do not recall hearing that song played on the radio when it was originally released. Not long after that, unfortunately. But anyway, the point being, DC is not going to let things get out of hand here. And the man is a proven writer who has proven himself in fiction and in comics. I don't know. I think a whole lot of mess is being made about something very insignificant.
Well,
there's some dramatic overreactions going on out there.
Well, let me ask you this. Here's the second part of the story. Some comic book stores, and one of the first ones who actually made this announcement is actually locally, It's Zeus Comics here in Dallas, Texas, came out and say they will not carry the book.
They will not shelve the book.
They will not shelve the book. Um, they can be that. That's fine. That's fine if that's what they want to do. They think, you know, if they want to do that in protest, that's fine. Um, what some people, and I saw this a lot, responding to this as well. That's censorship and all that kind of stuff. Guys, here's the thing. Not every store carries every book. The stores order to their clientele, their subscribers, or who they know or they have a good feeling who's going to walk in and pick up what.
And honestly, the people who order the books are people.
Yeah,
And they have opinions and they have feelings and they live and breathe just like everybody else.
that's
And
true.
they make mistakes just like everybody else. And I mean, honestly, it's up to them.
Yep.
If the guy at, I forget, did you say the name of the
Zeus.
If the guy at Zeus Comics doesn't want to shelve the book, you know what? That's his right. He doesn't have to shelve the damn book. He doesn't have to. And there's nothing that I can do. I can't walk in there and tell him, you got to shelve this book, and wouldn't dream of it anyway. I mean, it's his deal. If that's how he wants to protest this whole thing, if he wants to make that big a deal out of it, that's his prerogative. That's called freedom of speech.
Yep.
Which, what we need to remember, though, is that's the same freedom of speech that Mr. Card is allowed to exercise as well.
Yeah.
And DC they have the right to hire the guy because he's an award-winning writer. And so there you go. It's a vicious cycle, really. Everybody's allowed to do what they're doing in this, and that's one of the great things about this country.
Yep. Exactly.
At the risk of sounding all flag wavy.
Do 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 do. You know,
I'm not usually the flag wavy guy.
no. You're right. I agree with you. He has the right to do that. The thing is, there's other stores that are going to carry it. So, if you're interested in the book, the thing is these type of things cause more attention to the book, than anything else. I was thinking about.
Yeah, this thing's getting press.
Yeah, this is getting So
you could argue that there's no such thing as bad press here too.
That's true, because I was thinking. I've thought of several things. The first thing after reading some of this and actually starting to kind of process it and all that, I was thinking about Kevin Smith's story about about the protest of Dogma, the protest that he joined.
Yeah. He and another guy made a sign and went out and joined the protest.
And everybody was just like, and a couple of them actually turned and looked at me like, But and another one I think of was Last Temptation of Christ. That was a movie that more than likely a lot of people would not have seen, except for the fact that there was an uproar, there was protest over the movie. So some people want to go, I got to find out what it's all about.
Monty Python's Life of Brian was the same way.
Yeah. So
it made a lot more money than it probably would have because of the protests. And honestly, another Kevin Smith story, when he made Red State.
That's true.
A couple years ago, Fred Phelps in the Westboro Baptist Church protested against it.
Well, they protest everything.
And he went out of his way and invited some of the members to a screening. He told, I forget where he told this story. It was one of his Q&A things.
Okay.
And they came into the theater and sat down, and they got up and left as soon as the movie started. But they came. They showed up. He invited them, and they showed up.
Nice.
They were at least polite enough for that. So yeah, censorship of books and other related materials have a long-standing history of not really working. In fact, they tend to backfire in in this country. Usually, it's the censored works that people want to go out and get because they want to find out why. They're
Yeah.
curious. It makes them curious. It piques their interest.
That's how you can get people to read.
Yeah,
Censor everything.
I'm thinking that's how we get people to watch our show. Let's go find somebody to ban us.
There we go.
Who can we get to ban our show? Ooh, maybe we can talk to Kevin Smith and get him to ban our show. That'd be
There you
awesome.
go. There you go.
He's got kind of the podcast empire going thing.
That's true. So, I've been kind of on both sides of this. I can see what both sides are, but like you said, it's everybody's right on this, and to a point, everybody's wrong.
Yep. Right. It's a bunch of noise about something that really isn't going to matter in the long run. And I mean, are more people going to go buy this collection because of this? Maybe. If nothing else, that would be a really good reason for DC to not fire a card over this.
Yeah.
Because the longer he stays on it, the more likely it's going to be to get for all this backlash to keep coming. And by the time it actually hits the shelves, people are going to want to see why. People are going to see what all the fuss is about. And I think they're going to be sorely disappointed. Not because Card's not going to write a good story, but because it's just not a thing.
It's going to be a nothing story.
It's just impressively not a thing. There's nothing. I mean, with the process that is used in the production of these books, there's nothing he can do. He can't screw up Superman. I mean, it just won't happen. And so there's no point in making all this noise about it. I mean, if they want to be mad and protest him personally, fine. Whatever. That's people's right. But whatever. I don't know. It annoys me.
Yep. I was going to say something.
Good, because we're like live, dude.
Well, well, I made a comment. It's like it's going to be over nothing, and I don't mean that as in the story's going to be nothing, but I could see some people just reading the book and go, "The uproar's over this." Well, it's not over that; it was over who wrote it.
Right. It was over something that's not going to be anywhere near obvious or even noticeable in the book itself.
No.
I mean, this can only benefit DC because,
yeah,
like I said, people eat up the fact that stuff is being censored, and they want to know why, and so they'll buy it, and then DC pockets the money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to do anything to minimize the controversy at this point. All they have to do is trust their editorial process, and they're fine, and ride the wave. I mean, will it be the best-selling book that they have all year? No, probably not. Just because it's a one-off.
I assume it's a one-off.
What I saw, what I read, it sounded like a one-off.
It could be.
It could like a one-off collection type thing. I mean, they might do more.
Yeah.
They're going to need to generate some more controversy. Because
it's well,
going to sell better than this one.
Well, it's a number one. Number ones always do well. So.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
A little.
Mm. So I guess we solved that, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, they should have just called us. We could have told them what to do.
See, that's because no one watches us. That's why.
Yeah, we're going going to fix that problem one of these days.
Well, we're trying.
And then we're not going to know how to deal with it. The fame is just going to go to our heads.
Well, the fact that I've already been asked to be in a part of a panel to discuss podcasts, and I was like, wait a minute.
I saw that.
Podcasting?
I was flipping. I happened to hop on the Alcon website to kind of look and see what was going on there, and I noticed. I was flipping through the programs, and I was like, saw the podcasting one, and I saw the word fellowship in there. I'm like, no way. And I read it. I was like, oh, cool.
Been asked to be part of a podcasting panel, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really do podcasting. I do this, So, but hey, I was happy to be asked. I said yes. I'll be more than happy to put in my couple cents for what it's worth. But I've already been a part of an email with the rest of the guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say too much. I may not get a word in edgewise.
Well, that's not a bad thing either.
No, but at least, it gets us a little bit more exposure, which is fine. And it'll be fun.
These are podcasters. These are people who like talking and like hearing the sound of their own voice. You may not get a word in.
Yeah.
It's all right. And you know more than you think you do.
Yeah.
Not to break the fourth wall here, but boys and girls, he's been doing this. We've done this on a couple of different platforms, and it's really not any different from podcasting. So, and I've been telling him that for a year now, and he still doesn't believe me. But anyway,
so
back off the fourth wall.
Put it up.
Yeah, block out those geeks out there.
There you go.
We do not block out geeks. We do not censor.
Yes, we do. That's right.
No censorship.
We just got through talking about censorship, and you talk about we're not going to see.
They know I'm kidding. They ought to. My lips are moving.
Good night, everybody. Try the buffet. Yeah, but it's gonna be fun to do that. My first panel, and I'm like, okay. There's been a couple times I wondered about trying to be on a panel, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this.
Dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I say this with a few years of teaching experience. It's don't think of them as an audience.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going to screw your own head over. It's just like this. It's just like what we're doing here. Now, admittedly, we do this from 30 miles apart, and there's nobody in the room with you, and there's nobody in the room with me. But you're just talking to the people you're talking to, and you don't worry about the rest of it.
That's true.
If they laugh, you pause. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun. Hopefully you'll be there, and hopefully all you out there who are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I might as well go ahead and give it a plug since we're already talking about it. All-Con is coming up. It's weekend 8th, 9th, and 10th
of March.
And
3 weeks off.
Yeah, I know. I know, because I was just like, okay, I need to make sure we're going to get where we have our media credentials, and I think we do. So I think we're set there. If you go to all-con.org, you see the information. There's a ton of stuff going on in this thing.
I was surprised at how big it seemed to be.
I counted, not counting the registration, which I figure is just to open a floor. There's like 14 rooms that are being used throughout this thing.
Because just the sheer number of panels and stuff that are there. I mean, I flipped through that. I was scrolling down through that thing, and I'm like, good Lord, is this ever going to end? It was huge.
I've printed out the schedule, and the thing is like Saturday night, the Saturday thing, it starts like at 10, and they have stuff going all the way up to like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 or 3 in the morning. It's the same deal. I think it was Friday night. Runs until like 2
I think
too.
I think Friday is the same.
That is just madness.
And then Sunday is a typical 9 to 5 or 10 to 5, something like that. And obviously, I'm not going to be doing
Oh
But
Lord, no.
um, let me get that information real quick. I wasn't prepared for that. Hey.
Yeah, we come on all ready to talk about the card thing,
Yeah.
and then you
Let
change
me,
the subject.
that's no problem. That's no problem. Hang on.
Oh, we never go off script. What are you talking about?
No, we never do.
No, never. Script, hell. I don't think we've ever had a script.
For everybody's information regarding the podcast, it's called the Podcaster Summit. It starts at 5 o'clock Saturday, March 9th. It's going to be at the Elm Room, and we're going to be there till 7, maybe a little bit longer, because there is nothing between 7 and 8.
They'll be there until they get kicked out of the room.
So we may be there. We may be there till
8:15. Who knows?
But yeah, Friday everything starts more or less at well. There's not too much at 11. It really starts kind of kicking in about noon and 1 on Friday,
Sounds like
and it goes. I mean, they're showing the Rocky Horror Picture Show at midnight.
well, of course.
Of course,
I don't think you're allowed to show that anytime other than midnight.
true. Good point. And then bad vintage foreign sci-fi double theater as well at midnight. I don't know what that means.
It sounds like a MST3K.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was
That
thinking.
could be fun also.
Um,
If you're
and
not
then
Rocky Horror.
Life Isn't Fair Monopoly starts at 11 and goes till whenever. I'm not sure I want to know what that's all about.
Yeah, it could be fun. That
It could be,
sounds like an interesting twist on a common board game. And
yeah, it could be fun. I mean, it could be, oh my god.
it could go either way. Who knows? Without knowing who's involved and naming names or anything.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't have a clue.
So
It may not be listed there.
no, there's this. For the record, guys, this is like their schedule.
It's just
Of course,
that's just for Saturday right there.
no, well, that's Saturday
Saturday.
from 9. That's from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6.
Good Lord.
There is
That's not
five.
the Saturday page.
There is 5 pages. I printed this out. There's 5 pages of their schedule.
Cool.
Friday, and Saturday are 2 pages each, and then Sunday they get everything on one page because it closes at 5.
Yeah, I had no idea this was such a thing. I don't know. I think I've heard of Alcon before, but never really paid any attention to it.
Yeah,
I admit. I mean, I'm not. Cons is not necessarily something I'm big on, so
yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily know. But wow, I didn't realize how huge it was until I looked at that website.
yeah. I had heard of it, and I've kind of looked into it a little bit, but I've never really thought it was. It's called Alcon for a reason because they literally have everything.
Yeah.
Gaming, cosplay, movies, you got celebrities, you got workshops, you got panels. I mean, just, it is literally everything.
Yeah. Artists and writers
Yeah.
all over the place. It's crazy. It's in Addison for those who are in the area.
Yeah, and
If you're not, it's like kind of on the north end of town. It's kind of there's kind of a bunch of restaurants in that area.
yeah. Couple of interesting things. I know one of our fellowship friends, Taffeta Darling's been talking about this because she's actually hosting the show. It's Friday night. Naked Girls Reading.
Yeah, I believe there was a 21 and over.
Yeah, 21 with ID.
There. Yeah, you had to
Separate.
So
Yep.
it might be
Separate. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you.
I'm interrupting you.
Go ahead.
Might be some. It might be literal.
Oh no, it is literal because they do have a website or a Tumblr site because I found out about that. Yeah, it's 21. Didn't mean that the way that sounded. But it's 21 or
I get in trouble when I check out stuff like that.
21 or over with ID, separate ticket required for that. But then again, they have an Alcon prom starting at 10 o'clock, and it's genre formal. I don't know what that means.
That's because you're not a cosplayer.
Wow. And then a 2 hour speed dating thing, which I love. I don't know if you've seen this. It's been hitting the Facebook rounds, and I know you're not on it that much. I'm not on it that much. But there is a picture. I guess it had to be from San Diego or something like that. But there is a cosplayer standing at a table, and there's a banner there talking about speed dating, and the cosplayer's dressed up like Flash. And he was like, "You can't make that stuff up."
Oh yeah, that person went there knowing what they were walking into.
Yeah.
They went there intending to take that picture.
So
That's good.
it looks like a lot of fun. I am definitely interested in checking this thing out, and I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm like, why hadn't I been to this thing before? So
Right. I didn't even. I mean, yeah. Find
and of
myself
course,
wondering how long they've been doing it.
you
I
know
didn't.
what?
I didn't notice anything on the website about it saying like 8th annual or whatever. But I didn't look real hard either.
I know they've been around a couple of years, but you know, I think they've been around. You know, I've seen the 09, but I don't know about earlier than that. But who knows? That's something I can find out. But it looks like it's going to be a blast.
It does. A lot of stuff going on. That's for sure.
And of course, the special guest of honor is Peter Mayhew,
Yep.
which surprises me because a few months ago they were listing it as Sylvester McCoy, but I guess he had to cancel.
Backed out.
I guess he had to cancel, which
It looked like he backed out.
yeah, probably to some kind of scheduling conflict or something. That's a shame.
Yep.
Being the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who and all that. But I know there's supposed to be a Who Fest here in the Dallas area, September or October. So
Ooh. I wasn't
what?
too far off. I stumbled across. They've got. This is cheating a little bit, but on their website they have a list of the photos from previous cons, and it goes back to 2005.
Okay. So they've been around. This is probably the 8th annual then, or 9th?
This would be this. Yeah, 9th.
7, 8, no, yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, oh, oh.
Yep.
Well, it looks cool. And it's at. Do you have the hotel that's at right there?
It is.
It's the Addison.
Where does it say? Where does it say? Crown Plaza in
Crown
Addison.
Plaza. There you go.
Which is the address. I saw the address. It was on Midway.
Everything's on Midway or just off Midway.
Near it, yeah.
That's pretty much Addison. Midway is.
Addison's not huge.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little suburb chunked in there. There's actually some office buildings and stuff.
Yep. I used to work over there. Trying to remember where this is because I used to work over there off of. Well, I worked off of Midway. Between Spring Valley and Beltline. That was Midway, wasn't it? I think so.
Probably.
Anyway, and we were off talking about the topic again, but that's okay. So, um, was there anything else you want to kind of go over real quick?
Put me on the spot, why don't you?
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I do want to take a couple of minutes to thank all of our new followers on Twitter. And if you have a Twitter account, please follow us at Fellowship Geeks. Making a lot of new friends over there, so we appreciate that. And of course, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/The Fellowship of the Geeks. And we're on Google Plus, as you can tell, since we're doing a hangout via Google Plus. Just go to the website, and I got the link on every page. So, speaking of the website,
because otherwise we're going to rattle like a string of like 37 numbers at you.
Yeah, it's a ton of numbers. We are coming up to our annual Comic Craziness tournament, and that will actually start, believe it or not, it's going to start a week from Friday, because a week from Friday is March 1st.
Yep.
So it's changed from previous years. In previous years, I would have been doing it as starting them up Sundays and ending on a Saturday. Changing it up a little bit this time to where it's Friday through Thursday. I'll post all the information, going over the rules, because there has been a little change. I always tweak them. It will probably be toward the end of this week. I'll post all that stuff, and of course the brackets have been set, and they will be posted next Friday, so the 1st. So, and it is doing a change of pace. It is pulp characters, pulp heroes. The classics like The Shadow and Doc Savage and all those good people to up more modern, Lobster Johnson, the Black Connell in there, because those are pulp characters in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a nice wide selection. It's a bracket of 32. We go 32, and we will pick a winner. So I'll have, but in the schedule breakdown will be on that posting toward the end of this week. So excited about this. Should be a lot of fun. I hope you all will enjoy it and be part of it too.
Get out there and do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Losers are going down. There's the challenge.
There you go.
If you needed a challenge, come at me. I'll take all of y'all on. I got completely shellacked last year, so whatever.
I don't think you were that bad off, but yeah. I'll have to go back and look. At the records. So. Well, you'll probably do better this time since you know more about the pulp characters than characters you just hearing for the first time.
There were a bunch of last year there were a bunch of characters I'd never really heard. I kind of got on and did a little. I mean, just like any good fantasy football player, I got on and did a little research.
Yeah.
And did all right, but not great.
Yeah, but a lot of those characters you've read that are read some of their stories since then too. So.
Oh sure, yeah, I know a lot more than I did last year.
Oh yeah.
And I knew I would have last year I would have known more of the pulp characters.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun. Hope everybody is a part of it.
It'd be a hoot.
Yeah. The thing is, it seems like everybody does this thing now. It was funny because when I first thought about doing this, there was only like one or two websites doing this, and I noticed last year it's like almost every website's doing it. I'm like, oh. I mean, it's fun to understand that, but I was like, oh, I'm doing something different.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But I got them by a year because this is our third annual. Some of them are starting their second, so
Yeah, so here we are, the originals.
something like that.
Get up in here.
There's a couple of the have been doing it longer, but then again, they've been around longer than us. So,
Right.
but there's other websites that have been around longer that hadn't done it. So it's a trade-off. So,
Yeah.
well, that's true, and we're always trying to think of something else to do with the website, something a little different. Um, since we're trying to wind things down for tonight's episode, feel free to shoot us an email at email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You got some comments, suggestions, questions. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What would you like us to see? What would you like us to do? What would you like us to talk about? Please.
See, the whole fellowship concept implies that there's communication. So
There you
communicate
go.
with us. Holler
There
at
you,
us. We'll holler back. We're relatively friendly. Just don't catch us too early in the morning.
there you go.
We need coffee. Or Dr. Pepper. Whatever you got. Mountain Dew. It's all good.
Well, some people need to stay away from Mountain Dew, and I'm not going to name names, but
I have no idea what you're talking about.
well, I wasn't thinking of you, so, but if you want to fess up, that's all right.
Oh, who are we talking about then? Oh, you said you didn't want to name names.
I didn't want to name names.
That's okay. You'll stop recording eventually, and then you can tell me.
That's right. So it looks like Mr. Pickering will not be joining us tonight, and that's a shame. But that's okay. He's got higher priorities than us, and we understand that, and that's not a problem.
He'll get back in the swing. No worries.
Oh no, I'm
He's
not worried. Yeah, he's a good guy. So, James, we miss you, and hope you join us soon. So, on that note. We're going to go ahead and say goodnight. Our next live show will be. Is it in the 5th?
2 weeks from now.
Yep, it is March 5th.
Yeah, somewhere.
And of course, next week we will have our not live show, off topic with the geeks. Hopefully, I know Les will be back. He should be back for that.
Returns.
Yeah, the webman returns. Hopefully, we'll have Mr. Pickering with us. So that'll be nice to kind of have all four of us again because it's been a while. So
It has.
so until then, gang, please feel free to contact us. Let us know what's going on. Spread the word about us.
Ding us on Twitter.
Follow us on.
Bother
Yep.
us. Do whatever. Please talk to us. Okay.
So, with that, we wish you a good evening, and we will talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Good night.